Lena had always been a quiet girl, bookish, observant, and comfortable in solitude. After her grandmother passed away, she inherited the old Victorian house on the outskirts of town. It was the kind of place you'd expect to see on a postcard from the 1800s. Peeling wallpaper, creaky floors, and a lingering smell of rosewater and dust. The house came fully furnished, right down to the antique furniture and family heirlooms. One piece in particular stood out to Lena, a massive, ornate mirror that hung in the hallway upstairs. The frame was made of dark oak, carved with twisted vines and strange symbols she didn't recognize. It didn't match anything else in the house. It didn't even look like it belonged in this century. She tried to move it once. It was bolted to the wall so tightly it wouldn't budge, so she left it alone. At first it was just a mirror, but then things started to happen. Lena first noticed it late one night. She was walking down the hallway heading to the bathroom when she glanced at the mirror and froze. Her reflection didn't move. She took a step back. The reflection followed, but not immediately. There was a delay, just a second too long, like a video buffering. She blinked. The reflection blinked back. She laughed it off, chalked it up to exhaustion. She was adjusting to the new place after all. Old houses have weird vibes. It was nothing. But the next day it got worse. She was brushing her teeth, facing the mirror in the upstairs bathroom. Behind her, in the hallway, she saw a movement, a shadow. She turned. Nothing. She looked back at the mirror, and there it was. Her reflection was still brushing its teeth, but she wasn't. Lena dropped the toothbrush and stumbled out of the bathroom, heart pounding. It didn't make sense. She told herself it was stress, lack of sleep, maybe even grief catching up with her. But she couldn't stay away from the mirror. Something about it pulled at her. Every time she passed it, she found herself glancing, then staring. Sometimes her reflection stared back. Other times, it smiled when she wasn't. One night, she stood in front of the mirror for almost an hour. The air around her felt heavy, thick like syrup. Her breath fogged the glass, but her reflections didn't. Her limbs began to tingle. Her hands moved on their own. She didn't know if it was her hands or her reflections. She started seeing things outside of the mirror too. Whispers in the corners of rooms, doors opening by themselves. Her phone would ring, and no one would be on the line, but she'd hear breathing. The reflection became bolder. One evening, Lena sat on her bed reading when she felt eyes on her. The mirror was across the hall, visible through the open bedroom door. She looked up. Her reflection stood there just beyond the frame, watching her. She was sure of it. She grabbed a blanket and covered the mirror that night. That's when the dreams began. In them, she stood inside the mirror, looking out. Everything was reversed. Colors were muted, almost gray. The house looked the same but felt wrong. Lifeless, cold, like she was in a copy of her world, but stripped of warmth. And outside the mirror, her real self went on living. Except it wasn't her. In the dream, she screamed at the glass, clawed at it, begged to be let out. But the thing that wore her face only smiled, placing a hand on the other side of the glass. As if to say, "I'm free now, you're not." Lena began to lose time. She'd wake up in places she didn't remember going. Her clothes would be different. Her phone would have texts she didn't write. Once she woke up in the garden, barefoot, hands covered in soil. The final straw came when her friend Emma came to visit. Emma hadn't seen the new house yet and was eager to catch up. Lena tried to act normal, make tea, keep the conversation light. But Emma kept glancing around the house like something smelled off. Halfway through their visit, Emma excused herself to use the bathroom. Lena waited and waited and waited. She finally went upstairs and found Emma standing in front of the hallway mirror, pale and frozen. Her lips trembled. That's not your reflection. Lena's stomach dropped. What? Emma pointed, shaking. It waved at me. You didn't. The mirror reflected both of them, but Lena's reflection was smiling. Wide, too wide. Its eyes were too dark, too deep. Emma ran. She didn't say goodbye, didn't come back. Lena tried to cover the mirror again, but this time the cloth slid right off, as if rejected. The mirror wanted to be seen. She called a local antiques appraiser to come take a look. He arrived the next morning, a kind man in his 50s with a love for historical oddities. Within minutes of examining the mirror, he grew visibly uneasy. This isn't Victorian, he muttered. This is much older. Pagan symbols, pre-Christian, maybe Celtic or Norse. This wasn't made to admire your reflection. It was made to contain something. Lena's blood ran cold. Contain what? He didn't answer, just backed away slowly and left without charging her. That night, Lena stood in front of the mirror again. Her reflection didn't mimic her anymore. It stared back like it was waiting. She spoke aloud. What do you want? Her reflection tilted its head. Then in a voice that sounded like her own, but distorted, like it had been run through static, it answered, I want out. The lights flickered, the air went cold, and the reflection smiled wider than any human could. Lena screamed and turned away, but the next morning, the mirror was empty. No reflection. No matter what angle she looked from, it showed the hallway, but no Lena. She touched the glass and felt fingers on the other side. That day, her neighbors reported seeing her outside, smiling, waving at them. But when they looked again, she was gone. Inside the house, Lena sat curled up in the hallway, sobbing, but only from the inside of the mirror. The thing wearing her face lived on. It went to work. It posted on social media. It smiled at the mailman. It was perfect, too perfect. Weeks passed. No one noticed she was gone until Emma returned. She had a book in her hands, old, bound in cracked leather. She didn't say a word. She went straight to the mirror. Lena's reflection appeared, desperate, eyes wide, lips trembling. Emma placed the book on the floor and began to chant. The mirror shimmered, screamed. The walls shook. Lights exploded. The thing inside the house, wearing Lena's skin, raced down the hallway, but it was too late. With a final word, the mirror shattered into 1,000 pieces, and Lena fell out, gasping, sobbing, alive. Emma rushed to her. They hugged, they cried, but behind them, in a single shard of broken glass on the floor, something smiled, because mirrors never truly break. They remember, and sometimes they let things out.